I'll be reacting to Tales of Luminaria, The Fateful Crossroad, episodes 1 and 2, and I'll be starting my reaction to episode 1. And for those of you wondering, I'll be watching it from Crunchyroll's website, and I'll be watching its English dub version in 1-0 go. All right, I'm pumped up for this somewhat because the key visual on Crunchyroll's website looks good. Honestly, as far as CGI standards, though, that creature is animated pretty decently when I compare it to some of the atrocious CGI that's been going around this season. And something I would have loved to have seen, like maybe a bit more animated damage on the gorilla-looking creature's arm where the girl shot it at. But hey, oh, okay, this is a freaking badass. Oh, okay. So far, this stuff actually sounds good. At least better than the style mold of that Funimation did this year. So at least here you can see some effort in it. And I actually really dig the hand-drawn backgrounds. They look pretty. Huh! Damn, what a dick. I mean, everyone did contribute pretty equally, if you ask me. I mean, yeah, you have the finishing blow, but still. Hmm. Hmm. At least this chick can put her boy into place. Good, good. I'm already liking her. She cool. She cool. Speaking of which, I remember hearing that voice actor's voice in other entertainment works. I just can't place my finger on it. I'm gonna have to check the credits right when the episode's done, because now it's piquing my curiosity. I like this. It shows you that a red-haired protag has, at the very least, a heart, because you can tell he wants to do something. Okay, I gotta admit, that's actually a cool scene involving Leo at the very least. Because at least here, we're seeing him actually stick up for the common folk. Okay, okay. I admit that scene there kind of won me over a little bit more regarding him. No. Okay. And at least now we're getting to see the upsides of him acting noble. The thing is, though, it's not like those affairs would have delayed their mission too much, though. Okay, I like it. At least you see some sparks of her kindness too when it comes to the teacher. That's cute. All right, I like these bits of characterization for the characters at the very least. Interesting how for pretty much anyone that's not a major character, seemingly they're just rendered in 2D animation. What's kind of making me wonder, why not just render everything in 2D in the first place? I mean, the CGI isn't bad per se. It's not on the levels of say Rusted Armor, which is that one was bad, or Tesla now. But it's just that the 2D renders of background characters or unnamed characters looked way better than the CGI models of the named characters, though. Yo, that one looked good. Huh. All right. I do like the small bit of world building, though. Mentioning how the society in this series actually works. I really do hope nothing bad happens to the family, but you never know in these kind of series, though. These kind of series sometimes have a tendency of getting pretty dang dark. I mean, you never know. Or I could be wrong though, because I haven't played any of the Tales games, so this is just me dipping my toes into the franchise, so to speak. Oh yeah, we're about to see our bullet throw down. I feel sorry for the mother and her daughter though. I can't understand his reasoning there because all right. But I get to the argument for not wanting to let in all the refugees because if you do, there could be some spies among them. And plus, it had a lot of financial burden to the towns folks if they had to take in multiple refugees at once without any financial planning. I could see why there'd be some hesitation because resources aren't infinite. I gotta admit, these creatures actually look better rendered in the nighttime scene at the very least in comparison to when it was daytime. Damn, okay, his urine right now is actually more impressive than the first one of the episode, actually. And that's actually some decent choreography. Him actually running on the gorilla's arms and going for the finishing strike. Oh, that's damn good. Well, I mean, this is reasonable considering that he is an experienced. I'm assuming he's an experienced as a master, so I'm assuming his master did that because. Oh, never mind. Guess I was wrong. It looks like it's just an enhancement. Oh. Okay, thankfully the barrier's there. I actually like the impact animation, like the rocks falling on the townsfolk. It really shows you the gravity of that attack. Even those are just little specks and pebbles hitting the people. It doesn't seem like it's doing what he advertised, though. Oh, all right. I'd say it looked decent. Not the most extreme animation that there is, because oh, yeah, I figured that the master was going to show up eventually. The bell. Damn, I thought for a second the instructor was going to talk some mac that he could have done better. All right, because he did let his guard down for a bit, but then again, I guess since she's just barely showed up, she didn't get to see that. I'm assuming that. Okay, I like the implications there. Where at the very least, it seems like someone from like the center of the town must have put that instead of that creature. At least going by the facial expressions of Leo's instructor. At least that's what I'm getting, since again I haven't played the game for this series. I mean, some people say the game, as far as Tell's games go, ain't that great, and I hear everyone just hyping the hell up at Tales of Arise. As far as Tell's games go, Heard Arise, Zillia are good ones. I hear this one and Zistra are the ones with like the negative reception as far as Tell's fans go, apparently. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Final Fantasy VII story, where you've got the Mako reactor negatively affecting the environment. Not exactly the same, but somewhat similar. Hmm. And I also like those little touches of like seeing how polite Leo and his friend is too. I think those touches are pretty nice. And I gotta admit, I like those little details with the animators even going as far as showing body language animation. It looks good when it comes to mannerisms like that. You definitely see a lot more effort put into this than your usual CGI anime this season. I mean, this is leagues above again. We're currently single coordinate anime this season called Rusted Armor, and way above Tesla Note, which aired last season, and XCOM before that seasons ago. I'd say visually, this is definitely on the level of Nighthead 2041, if I were to compare it to the CGI anime from last year, and also decide the animation. I'd say I even put this above both of them in certain aspects. Oh, well. Okay, well, that dialogue, it sounds like this is definitely in the middle of the story when she's mentioning a previous battle. Now it's definitely starting to feel like this is feeling like it's in the center of the Tales of Luminaria game instead of the story, even though this is listed as episode 1. Well, I can only hope that this does well enough to get more episodes, because I'm currently enjoying what I'm seeing right now. It'd just be a damn shame if it ends on an epic cliffhanger without any sort of like resolution, though. Oh. All right. Looks like some epic action's about to start then. The inside of Ophelia looks like it's super futuristic in comparison to everything else. Everything else seems like it's your usual fantasy anime, and the anti looks like a freaking science fiction, super hyper futuristic series now. Not that I mind. Get some nice variety to the environments. Whoa! Okay, that chicken no joke. I mean, considering the importance of what's in there, I could see why that's in one of their best. I mean, I looked at the line of the lyrics is not for long. Oh. Oh. I think you should have gone for the shot, if you ask me. Hmm. Okay, so I'm looking at that. It used to be one of their former friends. Again, though, reveals like this usually have the most impact, though, if we see flashbacks of the type of relationships the main characters have with a certain character. Because with the way they framed it in the episode, they made it seem like it was such an epic and grandiose twist. Here it's like, well, this is the first time they introduced this character, so any emotion, because you can tell the animators are trying, and they, succeeded because the reaction shots were good, but it's just that it doesn't hold any weight because this is like the first time we see this dude. Again, definitely feeling like if they were gonna fund a singular episode for a smartphone game, well, an adaptation of it, should have just started out with a better starting point. No, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is cool shit and all. I mean, the fights look cool, but it's like hard to get invested as a person who hasn't played the game, where the writers are obviously going off of the context of these last two sequences, and it all out from the instructor a few minutes ago. It's like the writers are expecting you to have already played the game, even though since this isn't well, it's an adaptation of some of the events of the game. I'm assuming it should be able to stand on its own 2 feet because that's what the best game adaptations do. Like Arcane and the Castlevania series from Netflix and things like that. Those are among the best game adaptations that are able to stand on their own 2 feet. I still got to respect the craftsmanship, though, because still a lot of effort put into this. But it's just that all these fight scenes look cool, but it's just hard to get emotionally invested in some of the events going on, though. But damn, this chick is freaking efficient. The thing is, though, Leo and his friends aren't in a position to actually have any leverage in this position, unfortunately. Damn, this looks way better. They look way better hand drawn. Holy shit. Seriously makes me wonder why they didn't just go for a full hand drawn approach. Like, now we actually have legitimate 2D models to compare them with. Whoa! Yo, that's some cool shit. Well, at least when it comes to Yuko, he's hand drawn at this moment. Hey, that's actually a damn good scene, actually. Because it shows you that, well, you may have certain priorities. Prioritizing people close to him is more important than the mission at hand, just going off of that dialogue. That's actually a pretty damn good scene of characterization for Yuko. And a bit of good characterization for Leo, too, to its credit. So that's a damn nice scene there. You know, with a flashback like that, though, I think there might be a chance that Yuko might rejoin his friends again. I don't know. That's just my guess. I mean, I could really understand why now some reservations, though, because aside from having a history with them, they hesitated in taking his life away when they had a perfect opportunity to slay him. Okay. Okay, this looks pretty cool. Actually, getting to see characterization from both of our antagonists, not just Yuto. That's actually pretty cool, actually. And saying that's just a shame. What we this is actually a pretty cool build-up scene, but we're probably never going to see Yuto and Lil go at it unless someone plays the Tales of Luminaria game. That'd be like the only way of actually seeing it come to fruition. But overall, still a good setup scene, though, to its credit. I'm just so damn used to like these anime based off of smartphone games never fucking getting a sequel. Like Takata OP Destiny never got a sequel. King's Race, Sisters of the Will never got a sequel. You've got, what was that series? Oh yeah, Mongetsu Warenheit never got a sequel. Wave Surfing never got a sequel. Sachibacho, It's Time for Battle never got a sequel. Seven Heroes Success, the Seven Heroes series, Seven Nights, whatever the fuck it's called, never got a sequel. Oh, what was it, like the Zero Chronicle series never got a sequel. So yeah, it's just rare for a smartphone game adaptation to get a sequel nowadays in this industry. That's why I'm on the assumption that we'll probably never get to see the payoff towards all these scenes. I kind of like that, like these two ladies. I like. Why didn't you go out the first time though? Wouldn't that have been easier? I swear, when you have characters say shit like, "I'll finally go out," I'm like, why not just go out from the get go? I mean, you'll make your life easier. At least when it comes to Yuto and Leo, I mean, it's cool seeing them confront again. At least when it comes to Yuto and Leo, they have an excuse as to why they didn't go all out because of a history with each other. In these cases, these two not going all out makes sense, actually. Okay. Now, this battle is actually emotionally intriguing, considering these two actually have a connection with each other. And they did a good job of making Leo a bit likable in just a small amount of time. Now, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is a fight that not only looks pretty good as far as CG standards go, but you got two interesting characters going at it. This is the stuff I'm talking about right here. And the music's damn good too. Oh, is he gonna chop the arm? Oh. Damn, I gotta be. That's you literally and figuratively using the head to get out of a sticky situation. Now that is some mark. Oh fuck. Although one by the ways I was animated there, by the way it was twitching, I'm assuming he might have some sort of regrets as to what he just did, though. Or maybe he realized what he did was utterly fucking crazy. Go on, brother. I'm assuming he was just used like a pawn then. That's gonna be my guess. Since if he's that startled, that means he wasn't privy to all the information then. What is the thing? Some kind of like a mega ultra cannon weapon? Because that's what it's looking like. Yeah, okay, that's definitely gotta be cannon. What's gonna do? Like a nuke an opposing down a city or country? I really hope they show this August character because this August character sounds interesting. Who the hell it is anyway? Woo! Fuck. And that's something I like about this thing. They showed the importance of the barrier just a few moments ago. So when it's being taken down, it's a great emphasizing how much shit's just hit the fan. And this is what at the very least even decent world building does. Yo! Okay, the second episode's gonna be fucking epic. You? Yeah, and the thing is, Yuka has no kind of argument against this. He fucking doesn't. All right, I gotta admit, the first episode was actually pretty good. I'd say if I had to rate this one on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being abysmal, 5 being average, and 10 being exceptional, I gotta say, I'll give the first episode a, let's see, 5.5 out of 10. I thought it was entertaining, so I'll give it a slightly above average score. My only issue with it is when it revealed that Yuko was one of the enemies, it's like, this would have been nice if we would have seen a few scenes of Leo and his friend as a kid spending time with Yuko, so that when it was revealed that Yuko's doing some bad shit, it'd be like, oh shit, this is a cool reveal. Here it's like when the reveal happens, it's like, running stuff, are you supposed to think that I'm supposed to give a shit about this character just barely introduced? I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's a traitor. I'm like, okay. I mean, shit, you didn't give this guy any build up. When you have betrayal, it's because you're supposed to give the character that's doing the betraying at least a decent amount of screen time. So it's like, oh man, this feels sad. Here it's like, okay, I guess. So that's one of the downsides of the episode. It feels like it puts you in the middle. Then it talks about this dude called August, and I'm like, I don't know who the fuck August is. Guess these writers expect me to know who the fuck this character is, even though they obviously started out in the middle of the story. So things like that really do affect the entertainment value of the episode. But there were positives, though. I do like the world building. I do like how they mentioned how important the barrier is, so that when it was destroyed, it was at least impactful. And at the very least, after the whole Yuka having a past with the Leo thing was revealed, at the very least, it added some extra emotion to the Yuko versus Leo fights, at the very least, to the credit of the episode. I mean, it was entertaining, actually. So that's why I thought there was still some positives from the episode narratively. As from a characterization standpoint, I I it was decent. With Lil, we got to see that. Yes, he's a little bit cocky. No, he's really cocky. But he has his heart in the right place because he does help out people in need. Like when he helped out the mother and the child and giving them enough money to buy medicine. I thought that was sweet. And those weren't the only bits in the episode that were pretty good. Any bit where the instructor put fear into his students was actually pretty fucking adorable. And all the bits where Yuko was fighting Lil were pretty nice to the credit of the episode. The animators made sure that the battle sequences were pretty entertaining to its credit. So at the very least, even though, yes, the episode itself wasn't the most interesting thing I've ever seen narratively, and while this feels like, instead of it being like an episode one of a series, this feels like the fucking fifth or sixth episode of a franchise, if you ask me. Definitely does not feel like an introductory episode. At the very least, it was interesting enough to where I'm like, okay, this is semi-interesting. I, at the very least, find some of the characters interesting. I like the instructor. I thought she was pretty funny. Yuko was, in the small amount of screen time that he was in, he was fine. As for our main character's friend, she was all right. Nothing too special about her. But at the very least, I came out liking the instructor, and I came out liking Leo. So those are some positives from a character standpoint. But it's like, I only merely liked him a bit. Nothing to say, oh man, this is absolutely amazing. But nothing offensively bad either. But it's just like with series like this would definitely benefit if they were to adapt the full Tales of Luminaria game, so there would at least be some payoff towards all these plot threads that these writers are obviously building up. But hey, that was still entertaining though. The battle sequences were fun to watch. And I'd say from a production standpoint, even though CGI wasn't the prettiest thing as I've ever seen, the voice acting was actually really damn good to its credit. And I do like, at the very least, the rendering of the backgrounds, but the animators really put themselves and chained themselves pretty roughly because it's like, well, then, the problem with this is they obviously show beautiful 2D rendering sometimes when it comes to the character models, making the 3D modeling of the characters look cheap in comparison. And that's the issue of the animators, because don't get me wrong, you can tell there's some competent CGI animators here, but whoever was in charge of deciding, you know what? Aside from having beautiful 2D backgrounds, let's have some 2D hand-drawn characters. And why not just have these 2D characters in the same frame as the CGI characters so that we can only make the CGI stand out even more? Whoever thought that was a fucking good idea should really be drug tested, because that idea was fucking awful. Because it only makes the CGI that's decent stick out more, because it's like, when you look at the 2D, it makes you think of what could have been. Not saying the CGI was bad. It wasn't bad. It was all right. And in some sequences, like in the Yuka versus Lil battle, it looked good. But it's just that when you see the 2D beauty, it's like, come on, animators, don't tease us like that. So that's where the visual quality, I have mixed feelings on it. Overall, I'll still put it a bit above average, but nothing to knock my socks off. Nothing to make me go, oh man, this looks amazing. But nothing that makes it go, oh man, this looks awful. But it got the job done. At least the fight scenes looked good, to its credit. And when it comes to like mannerisms, like characters like bowing their head slightly and things like that, it looked good. You can tell there was effort. But now on to the react to the second episode, and I'll be starting my, and I almost forgot to mention, but the voice acting was actually good for an English dub. I'll give it credit for that. I really like the voices. But anyways, I'm going to start my reaction to episode 2 in 1, 0, go. All right, I'm pumped the fuck up for this. Oh, we should talk about massive destruction. Wow. I kind of like how it looks sort of like a painting when it comes to the flame smoke effects. Okay, that was a little nice touch when you saw Yuko dodge the attack. You saw some hair strand. That's a detail that you don't see sometimes in CGI anime action sequences. There is a nice amount of detail here and there, which I'll give credit for. There are a lot of CGI enemies that don't even bother with little details like that. Oh, shit. I can only... Okay, at least now we get to finally see August in the flesh, at the very least. I don't know what Lil's going to do in this situation, though. Lil doesn't have to feel like the type that would do that. What is that as Chad? I only hope he has a means of escaping him saying that, though. Because the odds look absolutely stacked against him. Good. Oh. I'm going to have to see where she's coming from. And she's just being pragmatic. Oh. And you know, RDA is doing this because Love would do the same thing if she was in the same spot. I'm gonna okay. That actually makes Ari a little bit more memorable now. Oh. Oh. Okay. I like this thing when they introduce him only for like a few seconds. I mean, considering the circumstances, his best option might be to allow himself to be prisoner so that he can escape from a jail cell later. Oh! I actually like this, though. You can see Yuka was going for the finishing blow, but he was just prevented from doing that. I'm assuming he Oh, man. I fucking love this dude. He's an ultra Chad. Okay. And I love how Lucian's reckless, too, because you can tell he didn't have a absolutely amazing plan on this. I love characters like that just do shit on the fly. They're always dynamic and fun to watch. Well, almost always, anyway, depending on how they're handling the anime. I mean, this is better than the place they were previously at. I like how he just toughs out through pain, even though you can tell he was invisible discomfort a few moments ago. But I can understand Leo's reasoning, though, considering the dire situation they're in. You can't afford to be really in pain. That's not really explaining shit. Okay, now super specific now. Oh, I'm assuming that shit's important. Ha! I like how you're so casual about this. I fucking love this dude more. I mean, I like how there's even things that the instructor fears. That's cute. Shit. I'm assuming that Sog is breaking that shit. Well, no, but hey, it bought them time. I mean, that's gotta be better than nothing. Shit. You've been buying like a few minutes or hours of distance between someone like August can make a world of difference. And they would have done it if August wasn't there, unfortunately. Oh, okay. Talk about this man's soul being filled with urge. Yo, that beam that it's building up to looks like it's going to be even stronger than the first one it launched. Well, yeah, some people do get overly ambitious sometimes. Well, yeah, I mean, and then that August bastard's there. Okay. I gotta admit, I like the conviction from Lyle here. Okay, at least the instructor's not willing to compromise this time. Man, that's better than zero chance, though. Oh, shit. I'm actually glad it's going to rely on Zelly a lot because out of our main cast, she's the only one that hasn't had that moment yet. Where it's like, oh yeah, she's super memorable. Hell, they gave Lucian a cool moment. So I'm glad, actually. Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? Considering what happened, I'm not going to blame him. He essentially is saying that, though, indirectly. Oh. Okay. I'm assuming because she's useful, that's why. Okay. I'm liking what they're going with her. That's what they should be. That's what they should be in compromise on that, though. If someone asks you to drink poison, you don't fucking do it. Unless you're about to be interrogated by the enemy and you don't want to give up information, then yes, drink poison in that situation. Whoa. Gotta say, that's some conviction. Well, when you have someone like August, I would be down in my lotus, even if I was in the high position in the army, considering what the bastard did. But I could see why she'd have a bit of hesitancy, though. Hey, at least he's being a realist about it. The thing is, though, even if he sees him, would he be able to change Yuko, though? Because the thing is, on the mission, they can't afford any hesitation. Okay. Okay, I like your language there. All right. This guy has a badass design. I'm going to assume that he's probably a boss in the Tales of Luminaria game. I just like how every single time the instructor shoots her gun, she always has to have like a freaking pose. Not that I mind. I think it fits the over the top feel of the series too. It's think about it. Wouldn't it be tough to fight in high? You know what? Fuck it. It's it's an anime. But I was about to say though, wouldn't it be tough to fight in high heels though? Wouldn't that outfit be a bit impractical to fight in? Just saying. But I guess style though. You can't kick the ass of evil if you don't look stylish in anime. It makes me wonder though, should none of the places have been more heavily guarded though? Like what happened to all the soldiers that were literally showing up? Or did he just off them off screen? Kind of feels a little bit rushed. And where's the Wolfie lady too? Well, I mean, is Zilla taking care of her? Is she fighting against her? Now it really feels a bit abrupt when it comes to pacing. Didn't really feel like that in episode one. Episode one's the issue that it felt like it started midway in the story. This episode's like, its issue is now it's going super fucking quick now, as far as pacing goes. That's life in a nutshell. Life is one big gamble in most cases. Okay, at least now we know what Zillia is going to be aiming for then. Okay, at the release that explains where Wolfie was. But what about all the fodder soldiers, though? I mean, kind of feels like Leo's trip So August and Yuka was just a little bit too easy, though, you know? I actually like the steps he takes in the water when it comes to the splashing. But the CG animation could be better, though, because we don't see any of the water stick on Wolfie or Lucy and Terry, and we don't see it drip on their bodies. So while the fighting looks good, it makes me wonder, why did the animators even bother having rain if you're not going to have it stick on the bodies? Just don't have the rain and just have it set at night so that the fight scene looks. Oh, he held it right before trying to go for the stab. Talk about stylistic points. Damn. Damn. This has got some love strikes in. Holy shit. All right, finally, we're going to give our girl the moment I've been waiting. They're finally going to give her the one I'm waiting for. I gotta admit, that was some more right there. I don't know, I like the music. It sounds pretty damn epic. And this is even better that Zillia felt the first one, because in this instance, it's a lot rougher. She's in the air, so it should be harder to aim. So this actually adds a lot more emotional intensity. Okay, I like the circly effect when with like that shows up right after she throws the arrow. That actually looks pretty damn good. Yeah. Although I wonder who's gonna help her land though, unless she's got some magic that lowers any damage she. I'm assuming he has other methods though. Yeah. Man, I like how devious this bastard is. It's like you think our heroes are going to get the upper hand, and he's like, nope. It actually gives August quite a lot of build up in a small amount of time. What a fucking troll, too. I'm like how he's actually now starting to question Yuko's morals at the very least. And you can tell that's the moment he lost their argument, because literally his blade slipped out of his hands. I don't think that's going to work against August. Yeah, he looks too. That bear looks too powerful. The way he's looking at Lily, it's like a man looking at a fucking insect. Like, you can tell he looked at him. Wait, he's gonna cause some damage? Yo! Yeah, this fucker don't look so confident now. Oh. Okay, that's gotta be a pretty damn efficient barrier if it's I thought for a second it was the barrier repairing and stuff, but no, it looks like the energy is just going back to the lands right now. Going by the animation. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Final Fantasy VII's ending where you have a lot of the energy going back to the earth after the ending of the game. Slightly, no, we definitely freaking overestimated him. No, this still looks like he's about to fucking collapse. But honestly, I don't know how I feel about this. This feels like bad writing because I'm like, August, you could literally take down your fucking enemy, dude. Literally, even though, yes, Lil broke his weapon, August could still take him down. He's really saying that after all he did? But in saying that, though, I don't mind the line of dialogue, though. At least it shows the strength that Yuko and Lo have in their relationship there. But I'm not really so sure I like the justification of August literally leaving the main protagonist alive. That's the bullshit cliche I see in some of the poorly written anime where the antagonist's like, I'll just let my enemy live so that they can power up and get stronger. And that's the logic I see in some badly written video games where it's like, I'll just let the enemy live so I can have them grind out so then they can eventually be able to kick my ass. I'm like, what is this? Like, literally, everything before that point was pretty decently written. And they just fucked it up with the whole cliche, we'll have the villain let the main character live for reasons without any major explanation. That's some horse shit right in there. Gotta admit, the music playing in the background sounds pretty damn good, though. Well, yeah, I mean, Yuko still has that look in his eyes. Definitely hasn't gone completely AWOL yet. I mean, I do like his optimism, though. I gotta admit, though, that song playing is pretty beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be honest with y'all. I liked episode 2 more up until the part where August is like, oh, yeah, I'll just leave him and all that bullshit. But the ending of this episode really sour my taste because it has the cliche bullshit running you see in a lot of fucking anime. Where it's like the main villain has the shot of getting rid of one of his potential targets, but he's like, nah, I'll let the main character live because the script told me not to kill the main character when it would have been fucking logically efficient to kill the main character. I'm like, are we really going there? Tells Luminaria. Are we really fucking going there? So, yeah, this episode soured my taste. So if I had to rate this episode, you know how I rated the episode a bit above average? This really soured my taste in the whole thing. So if I had to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being abysmal, 5 being average, and 10 being exceptional, I'm going to be straight up with y'all. I'm going to rate this a 4.75 out of 10 because that is some bullshit writing. I'm going to stick with that rating because it's like, That ain't the only issue in the writing that the episode had, unfortunately. Episode 1 had plenty of issues. Felt like it started at the beginning of the story. Felt not just that, but when it came to the betrayal of Yuko, it felt weak. Now, don't get me wrong, it ain't like this episode didn't have any upsides. I liked how, at the very least, when it came to Yuko's superior, I liked that bit where he bonded with her, and how, at the very least, you can tell how much she cared about him. So there were positives in this episode from a character standpoint. I do like Leo's optimism as to how much he can believe that he can bring his friend back to his side. And it was perfectly understandable, too, considering that when Leo was fighting Yuko, it looked like Yuko was hesitating a bit when Leo won the argument. So there are bits like that were like, okay, they're definitely doing a good job of setting the seeds for eventually Yuko potentially switching sides. So it ain't like this episode didn't have any positive elements. And they finally did give Azalea a cool moment when she destroyed the cannon. I thought that was actually pretty fucking cool. So there were cool character moments, and I loved seeing Lucy and just kick ass. I'm like, yes, this is a fucking G. But the thing is, though, this episode failed me not just because of August being a dumbass and letting his potential opposition go, but for other reasons. You had all these fucking guards show up in episode 1 that were around August. Where the fuck did these guards go? Were they all taking a shit? Were they on vacation? Did they all utilize pay time off days? I'm like, what the fuck? At least show some dead fucking bodies in some corridors and rooms, for fuck's sake, to at least make it look like there was some semblance of resistance against Lil, for fuck's sake. Don't just leave this tower that's really fucking important completely unguarded, only being guarded by, like, let's see, Yuko, Wolfie, and this dude with the armor, and that's it. That's just bad writing there. Like, straight up. It wasn't just the last bit of the episode that threw logic out the window. It's this part of the episode, too. You know, and don't tell me I'm bullshitting, because episode 1 showed all these fucking soldiers. Where the fuck did they go? So straight up, this episode fell apart from a writing standpoint. It was rushed. It's like the writers didn't pay attention to detail here. It may have worked for the game, because I'm going to assume that the game in this portion had you go through a lot of enemies and random encounters. So in the game, it probably made sense. It doesn't make sense here, though. I can only hope that if this does get an adaptation, a full adaptation, that they rewrite this portion so that Leo goes through multiple soldiers, so that doesn't make it look like he just fucking casually walked into the top of the tower with Yuko and August there. I hope we see some semblance of resistance if there's ever a full-on adaptation. But just so far, it's like there's a lack of attention to detail in this episode, and that's my issue with it. It wasn't just a single instance. It was multiple fucking instances. And it felt rushed, too. Those weren't just the only problems. It just felt like it went too damn quickly. Now, visually, I do have a lot of positive things to say about it visually versus the script, though. Everything involving Lucien looked damn good. The choreography, the style where he held Wolfie a bit before trying to stab her, like all that just oozed coolness. Or like his nice light-filled attack. It looked gorgeous. Or when Zilia fired an arrow. Or when our boy broke Augustus' staff. Like, a lot of things stood out visually in a positive way. So it ain't like this episode is complete trash. It's just a bit below average because the writing quality lowers it down. But the production balance, you can tell there was real effort put into it. As far as English dubs go, it's definitely above average when it comes to your anime. So I'll give credit there, actually. But then again, there was just some small flaws in the visuals. I would have loved, like, when there were rain, to see it land on Lucien and Wolfie's body, but it didn't do that, though. That was one of the unfortunate things. But for the most part, the visual quality was pretty damn consistent, so I really don't have much complaints regarding that topic. And yeah, that's pretty much how I felt about the episode. Good production values visually and from a standpoint, but the writing could have used a lot of work and doctoring. I can only hope that, for the sake of the series, the game writing is way fucking better than this. Or if it were to get an adaptation that patches up these issues. Which, if it were to get a full adaptation, I'd watch it because I see potential here. It's just they didn't live up to the potential. But I'm assuming that if it were to ever get a full adaptation, then some of these issues could probably be ironed out. But yeah, these are overall my thoughts. I did like a bit of the character moments though throughout the episode. I guess that's one thing I'll say positively about the writing. At least the character moments are handled well, but a lot of the story beats could have used some work though. But yeah, these are my thoughts on both of the episodes, y'all. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how I feel about either my reaction or the episode itself in the comment section below. Hope y'all rate the video, share it, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later to come back more. But anyways, y'all, thank you very much for watching my video, and have a fun, great, safe, and fantastic day, everyone. Bye-bye.